To Paratalkradio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family, and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Whoop. They are.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, mercy.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Hey, aren't you proud of me? Look at how quick I did it.
Well, it was semi-quick. I'll give it to you. It was semi-quick. Oh, man. Oh, I am my watch party. Let's go here.
Okay.
Just got that just set up. That is going. Thank God. So, what you been up to, my dear?
What have I been up to? Readings, my shows, what else? My readings, my shows, the Tarot Tuesday and the Just Cindy.
Tuesday.
Yes, you love the Taco Tuesday.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Barry.
And yes.
Hi,
John. How are you? Hi, Jean.
Yeah. It's nice to see everybody coming in here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I miss your faces.
Hi,
Robert. Hello.
And there's T-Roy over on the watch party. Hello.
Well, I just realized I need to silence myself.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
So, I gotta try something. So let's try something here. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.
So that was pretty cool.
That was awesome. Hey, Tom Nally.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like it. I think now Where's My Sage has to be slowed down a little bit.
Oh, well, there's this, it's the way it is, unfortunately. It's a 10-second like everybody else's, and, you know, that's
Really? They're only 10 seconds? Like,
everybody is.
There's some of them that look like they're longer than that.
Yeah, no, they're all, every single one of them's 10 seconds.
Oh,
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yep. Hey,
That's
Mary.
fantastic.
Hello,
You did
Tom.
a great job, Teddy. They look great. You did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I love
thank you.
mine. I think it's super cute. I love that you used hearts and clouds.
Well, I just wanted to have something that we could all get out there on our, page, like when we do our live feeds, something that we could play in the beginning or at the ending or in the middle, like at the top of the hour.
Yeah, you need to send me that version now.
Oh, I will. It's just something that everybody will have so that we can promote everybody equally all across the board.
I love that. Yes.
So,
I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. So our guest tonight, I'm kind of excited about. Let me pop
Yeah.
their picture up again.
Oh, wait.
This is Keystone Paranormal. Dave Haynie and I, we actually met in Gettysburg a few times. I think you met him in Gettysburg too. And we talked a
Dave
little
Haynie.
bit. Yeah, it's the guy with the bald head and glasses and goatee there. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so we all met at Gettysburg. That's
Yeah.
where I first met him.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know that name too.
Yeah. So they're joining
Yep.
us tonight, and we're going to be talking
Very
about.
good.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about their team and the paranormal stuff that they've had or gone through over the past
Muy
few months. And
fantastico.
yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm kind of excited about that. I haven't seen Dave since it's been since Gettysburg.
I was going to say,
so-
was it a year ago, Gettysburg, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Well, no, I saw him this past
Oh,
year.
you guys. Oh, wait, you did?
Yeah, I saw him this past year too.
Where?
In Gettysburg.
Oh, wait. Oh, well, then you just saw him a month ago?
Yeah, whenever we went.
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah.
Did
Nice
you see
video,
me?
Tom.
Did you see me?
Did I see you where?
Right now, look at me.
Wait.
Because you went to Gettysburg? Cindy, stop being a catty bitch. Whatever. It's fine. I need to take my shoes off because I want to put my feet in my chair.
There you go.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, so trying to keep up with everybody. Everybody's sending me messages all of a sudden now too.
Wait,
no,
why though?
I don't know. So we're waiting.
Look,
for...
I have cleavage for people if they want to see.
There you go.
cleavage
Tom will be
tonight.
happy. So we're waiting on. We're waiting on. People with goat tees are weird. Oh, really? Thanks. I appreciate that.
Well, Well, I don't think you have a goat tee. You have a goatee, maybe, but not a goat tee. You don't have a goat that's wearing a tee.
No, I don't. So I'm going to say hi to my
right.
cousin Chris, who's on there. Emmanuel,
Hi,
hey buddy.
Chris.
One of
How
my
are
fellow,
you?
one of my fellow Godzillians. That's my new word.
Get along home, Cindy, Cindy. Get along home, Cindy, Cindy.
That is
What does
from a
that
John
mean?
Wayne movie. It's a song.
Oh, well, I know that my name is in a Motley Crue song because it's been sung to me before.
Hello, Todd.
How
Tom
an
says,
ex-boyfriend
Oh, is
got
that-
to meet me. Oh my God, I thought for a sec Cindy said she had to take her shirt off, then realized she said shoes. I took my shoes off. Silly. I was wearing sandals, but I just didn't want to put my sandals in my
Yes,
turf.
Tom, I know you have one too. So, waiting on the guys to get here. It's tomorrow's show, man, for Talk with Teddy. Cindy, I got to tell you, it's going to be an
Tell me
interesting
about
show.
it. Tell me about it.
It's actually, we have a whole panel of gay men,
Okay.
single gay men, and then a couple. And we are going to be talking about gay monogamous relationships and how come some people can't find love.
So, I love that.
Yeah, it's a serious topic. I never really do
It
serious
really
topics,
is.
but I figured, you know what, let's try one and let's see what happens.
Maybe I should come on and say you guys need to make sure that you have self-love first.
Well, actually, T-Roy is joining me with his husband tomorrow night. He's going to be joining us as kind of like my super co-host, him and his husband, so it's going to be kind of fun.
Cute. That's awesome.
Yeah, they've been married 9 years, and they got
That's
a daughter.
fantastic.
They adopted
Aw.
a daughter, so yeah, so it'll be fun.
Yay.
So,
Aw. I guess Tom's World will not be on that show. LMAO. Are you gay, Tom? No.
it doesn't matter. Anybody can watch it. It's just going to be a fun topic.
Well, he can watch it. He's
Yeah.
saying that he couldn't be on the show.
No, but he could do the after party. So could Cindy. We could do the
Yes, I
after party. Just so everybody knows, Teddy's a little under the weather.
Yes, he is. So if he has to run to the bathroom, he's fine.
Yes, I'm apologizing right now.
Don't apologize.
So our guest should be popping in here. Hello,
Hi,
Christopher.
Christopher.
So yes, I've got a lot of really cool friends showing up here tonight. Some of them are Gazillions, and some of them will be on the show tomorrow night, and it should be fun. I mean, oh my God! And then Thursday, oh my God, Cindy, we have a band that you're gonna fall in love with on Thursday.
What is it?
I can't remember the name of the band. I just was introduced to them by Liz Clevenger, and these guys play with upright bass and guitar, acoustic guitars and stuff like that. But
we like Caden, remember?
Yes, we do like Caden. But they play cool. Like heavy music, but it's all like kind of like bluegrass instruments. It's really cool.
What? Yeah. Come on, heavy though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I can't wait. I want to hear it.
Yeah. It should be good.
That's on Thursday?
It's on Thursday. I'm trying to get as many different bands up here as we can to kind of show off their talent and stuff like that.
I love that you're doing that, but you're a musician, so you should be able to spotlight that part of yourself. I love that.
Yeah, it's just getting bands to do it. A lot of them, they don't want to do it, and that's okay. I get that too. So basically, just waiting on Dave and Jim, and then we'll get right into this.
Yeah.
And
what do you call it? Killing the rat killing or something?
Oh, let's get to the rat. Get to the rat killing. Let's get to the rat. Hello, Gerald. How are you, buddy? Oh, that's Gerard. Sorry, wrong person. I can't see with my glasses. Gerard was on with Godzillion crew with me the other night too.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at this crap. Look at this.
Hi, Dave and Jim.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien.
Wow.
Gracias. I was not expecting you to understand that.
Yo hablo un poquito.
Un poquito. Y tú?
All right, knock it off. Knock it off.
We just were saying that we only speak a little bit of Spanish.
I know, but if I start talking in freaking Indian, you guys ain't going to understand anything. So
no, we won't.
All right. That's right. So, Dave, I haven't seen you since Gettysburg.
That was not brought up in our Anglo-Saxon schools, okay?
Yeah, we know, and it's sad. Yeah.
It is sad.
So, Dave,
I can remember being in high school. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I can remember being in high school, and we used to have Italian and German and Latin and French and Spanish. And then as my children went to school, it was Spanish and French.
Well, I took
I think most of them were.
I said,
hi, Jim, how are you?
I'm not going to be able to see you guys if I don't take off my glasses.
I had classic Greek and 4 years of Latin. So all my dead stuff.
That's
I take in Spanish. I mean, what the hell?
Ancient Greek, is that what you took? That's what you said you took?
I had 1 year. They canceled. This was down in PG County, Maryland. The first year we had it, and then they canceled that out. And by the time I graduated, they canceled Latin out as well. So the languages were gone. And then, like you said, they focused. We had German and all that. They focused on French and Spanish.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, for most of the Romance languages, if we all took Latin, we could all pretty much figure out the other Romance languages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Romance languages are Spanish and Italian, not French.
Wow. Look at you guys go. I'm getting an education.
Right?
You sure are.
I'm showing my age.
I have to remember to stay away from this microphone because it gets so loud and I don't know, just crazy. I wanted a new microphone. I'm thinking about using my headset this one here eventually.
Hi, Cindy. Is it good? I don't know. Is it going to be good enough?
I don't know. I like this one with everything that I got set up. This is cool. So
let me get back to my. Good.
Thanks. Let me get back to my original question. How are you, Dave?
Doing well. Got some dental stuff going on, but that's getting taken care of. And now that
Teddy too.
I had a filling fallout right before all the restrictions hit for COVID. So this is the first chance I've been able to get to a dentist to actually get it taken care of. So.
And
same with Teddy.
The tooth is dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no! So you're gonna have to have a root canal and everything now,
No,
huh?
no, I'm not. No, I said it's much cheaper just to yank it. It's all the way
Yeah.
back.
Exactly.
You can see it.
He's
so.
going
Yeah,
to.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. Just yank that bitch.
But other than that, doing well. You know, I finished my schooling, obviously, and finished my certification. So I'm starting to put out applications for my new career in mechatronics.
What is that?
That is a new field, which is its combination of electronics, robotics, welding, machining, maintenance, everything. So all these new places that are opening up, and everything's automated with robot arms and programs and all that stuff. When those robot arms and all those programs and all those conveyor belts and all that break down, I'm the guy that'll fix it.
That's amazing.
In his training, Steve Barry had a 3D printer broken, and he actually fixed it. So we're hoping that along the way he can apply his knowledge of circuitry and all that, and who knows, maybe some of the ghost equipment manufacturing might.
There you go.
Not even that. I mean, shoot,
Nice.
he might be responsible for us living on the moon eventually.
Yeah.
Who wants to live on the dang moon?
Me.
I love Mother Goddess, but come on.
Yeah.
I'd love to live on the moon.
All
don't
that
wanna live
blue
on the moon.
cheese, you know.
Lots
Didn't
of
you guys
cheese.
learn anything from Transformers? What lives on the dark side of the moon? Come on.
See, I saw that. I'm with you, Cindy.
Right, Dave.
Hey,
Come
I
on,
was
we got to
always
think
told-
about this.
I was
But
always
listen,
told the moon was
Dave,
made of
you
cheese.
could change. Wait, what?
I was always told the moon was made of cheese, so if I
Yeah,
moved
it's
up
not.
there, I could eat my own planet.
But listen, if the Transformers are on the moon, Dave could fix them.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know,
Bring it back.
they have all those 3D printers in the space labs and that now. Because they have equipment.
They're creating
for-
humans with them.
Yeah. And hey, you got Elon Musk with the brain chips now. Did you guys see that this past
No,
No.
what?
I
Yeah,
don't want to
he's created a brain chip, and they have
Come on.
actually a full-size hog that doesn't have a functioning brain, but it's like
So
a
they put
regular
this-
hog.
Its brain didn't work, and it was basically going to die. So he designed this chip and put it in there, and it's functioning fine, and it's healthy as can be.
It eats, walks
What?
around, oinks.
Yes.
No lie, and they say they've got one for humans.
Mm.
People are saying, "Man, this is scary stuff." Think of it.
Listen,
scary? That's not even the
you're
word,
getting.
man.
Listen, I have seen people
Wow.
that have been just nearly dead, and the only thing keeping them tethered here is that machine keeping them alive. And when they are in that spirit place between their body and spirit, they want their plug to be pulled. I can't imagine them going, yeah, put a brain chip in me so I can come back.
True story. About maybe it's like 6-7 years ago, there was a guest on Coast to Coast, and the guy and his father. It was a family-run funeral service, and they had their first request for collecting a cryogenic body for freezing. First,
Wow.
in other words, it wasn't
Wow.
their facility, but there was one, and their goal was to take the body to the cryogenic lab. Now, to do so, I don't know all the technicals, but they have to, like, right at the time of death, you have to be there at the hospital before the person actually physically dies. Because
Right.
right before they die, you got to inject special chemicals into their body. I guess this does some kind of preservation of some of the neurologic materials.
Right.
So he was there, does the injection, gets the body. The doctor pronounces the gentleman deceased, gets the body, signs it over, and he's riding now in the hearse to the cryogenic lab. And
That's
he
crazy.
gets about a half an hour up the road when suddenly he hears a voice saying, "What do I do now?" And he's looking in his rearview mirror, and it's just the body. In other words, the body's laying flat, the thing, whatever. but he's hearing this voice saying, "What do I do now?" And he finally, I don't know how he keeps control of the car. He says, he pulls off the road, turns around and looks, and he sees a man sitting in the back seat. And he says, and the guy repeats the question, "What do I do now?" And he goes, "Well, I'm taking you at your request to be cryogenically frozen." And he goes, "Well, I don't know if I want to do that." And he goes, you know, he says, "You're dead. I mean, the doctors pronounced you dead. You're dead." And he had a brief conversation with the guy and basically said, "I'm sorry, I have no other recourse but to take you to this." And so he drove it to the facility, turned it in, and I guess he'd done the steps right so they could freeze the body. He gets home, and the first thing he tells his dad, "We're not doing this again." Because like you were saying, he was just fixated that this individual was trapped in these nether worlds. And he said, "Dad, there's something unholy about this, and we can't do this again." And that was it. That particular institution, they did one and done.
Oh,
and,
my
I mean, how the guy didn't wreck the car, I don't know. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Although I'm used to it, so I probably wouldn't have wrecked it either.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, so, you know, we're in the new realms here and there's not a lot of laws that are on the books to regulate or pertain to these, especially when you're talking about putting a chip in someone and controlling them. So
I can't even with them. I can't even with them.
No, I can't either.
Yeah, and a lot of people commented on, on Elon Musk's thing about, wow, no, we're not ready for that yet.
So
great
Jim,
new world.
Yeah, it is.
Jim, I got a question. Tom Naley's in here, and he asked, he says, trying to get a hold of what accent is that Jim has. You know, where are you from?
It's a lot. I went to school. I'm from Maryland. I have Southern roots. I went to school in Philadelphia. Philadelphia's full of colloquialisms, and you get these weird twangs and everything. So a lot of people think I'm from up in New York or something like that. It was from all my schooling up in Philadelphia. And I did
actually, that's funny because Tom Naley's from Philadelphia. That's where he is right now, in fact. That's funny.
So funny.
Yeah, Philly took whatever I had and just really warped it, morphed it into
changed it a bit, tweaked it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the rat killing, like I always say. So, and Cindy mentioned that earlier. So let's talk about Keystone Paranormal and how it all started.
It makes me think of the Keystone Cops.
Yeah, are you guys the founders now? Are you guys the founders of Keystone?
Yeah. We're, he's my son-in-law. And
I thought you were his dad, so that makes sense to me. Yes.
Yeah. Back in 2000, I met Jim's daughter, and in 2002, he made a good enough deal for me to take her off his hands, so I married her.
So he paid you, basically. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, one hell of
the dowry.
I got very lucky. I think she settled down myself, but when my wife and I first moved in together, we were living in an apartment in Owings Mills, Maryland, and Jim and his wife came over for dinner one evening, and I guess Jim looked on my bookcase and saw the books I had, Hans Holzer's books, and ghostly stories and tales and haunted places and all these things, and it piqued his interest because Jim has had experiences with the paranormal since he was a small child living out in
Washington, D.C.
Was it Federal Heights?
No, Southeast Washington,
D.C.
Yeah.
So the following week, it's a Wednesday, he calls the house and says, I saw your books, and I see you're into ghosts and things like that. And I said, yeah, it really intrigues me. I'm fascinated by it. And he said, well, now you got to remember, this is 20 plus years ago. He said the International Ghost Hunter Society is holding a conference in Gettysburg this weekend. Would you like to go?
Shoot.
I said, absolutely. And he says, well, good, because I've already paid for tickets. So,
there you go, Jim.
And back then it was the Holiday Inn. Now it's the
Holiday Inn.
1863. And we know nothing about it. We didn't own any equipment. We didn't know how to do anything. We didn't know anybody. We didn't know if we were walking to a Star Trek convention where people were going to be dressed up in like cosplay, and so we didn't know.
That's awesome.
But we went with an open mind and trying to get some of our questions answered. And we met some of the nicest and most intriguing people. Lawyers. One guy was a circuit court judge. Several police officers, MDs.
From teenagers up to people in their
Jim's age now.
Yeah.
And as some of the presenters were talking, we got to speaking with a gentleman who's kind of standing in the back. His name was Dave Weaver. And everybody called him Joe Man because he made a great cup of coffee. And he lived out in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. And he's a restorative carpenter. So he goes into these old antique homes that have all this beautiful carpentry that is starting to deteriorate over time, and he restores it.
That's amazing.
And he's connected with Wheatfields, which is up in the Lancaster area. That was the house of President James Buchanan. Probably one of the most controversial presidents we've had because of all the doings. And in doing his work, he says there's regular battles in the house. In other words, he's the only one in this house doing his restorative work, and there's battles occurring, and he's hearing stuff being slammed around and all that. Wow. He's been working for years to try to get them to allow the paranormal community in there, but they've been very resistant.
So we start talking with him, and he says, we're having a great conversation. He goes, I got somebody you two need to meet. So at first break, he takes us, and sure enough, he introduces us to Dr. Dave Oster and Dr. Sharon Gill, who are the creators of the International Ghost Hunter Society.
Cool.
And they start talking to us like they've known us for years, and by the end of the first day, they come up to us as we're walking out, and they said, we have an investigation of private residence tonight. Would you like to join us? Well, absolutely. So we went out to the outlets, bought our first digital recorders, and it was fast and furious from there. But the problem was we spent the first 10 years doing Gettysburg, Antietam, and Harper's Ferry because they were free. You could go to them anytime. And we had no idea that there were these places like, say, Moundsville or Bel Air House or any of these places that you could rent and stay in. We didn't know about any of that. And after about 10 years, it kind of got played out. We were tired of going to the same places weekend after weekend after weekend. And we took maybe about an 8-month break, something like that, where we were just kind of like the passion was starting to dwindle. And then I don't even know how you found it, to be honest with you. He came across an ad for the Bel Air House.
Yep.
And signed us up. And
actually, Steve Hummel was hosting a Paracon in Moundsville. And so I went up, met Steve, and got to see Moundsville Prison, not an investigation, but see it. And from there, he called me and let me know of an investigation that was occurring at the Bel Air House and that they might have rooms. And that's where we met Kristen Lee and
Simpson.
And then from there, we met Mike Simpson, Lola Carter, and I'm telling you, it just took off.
And once we got there, the experiences that we had, not only evidence-wise was fantastic, but personal was so profound that we just went that just not only did the flame reignite, but it blew up like a kerosene heater on fire. And we just started going hot and heavy after that. And we went for another 3 years or so, just Dave and Jim. And then I came across the idea to come up with an actual team and an actual name. And we settled on Keystone State Paranormal Society. And then from there, Jim met a woman out in Carson City, Nevada.
Yeah, I've been doing work out in the Western, Carson City, Virginia City. And she's a psychic medium out there named Janet Jones. She's written several books and very, very talented lady. And whenever I go out west, like the Lake Tahoe area, she had ins at all the Millionaires Club in Virginia City. And,
nice.
And we actually, with working with their teams, back when they first started that My Ghost Story that was on TV. One of
Yes.
the
Yeah.
we were actually something we captured there in Virginia City was the concluding item of interest for episode number 1. We got
Nice.
this very unique capture. I believe it has to do with the Indians and Indian power, Native American. But you see this ball of energy coming in the room, and then you see this large blue talon in the opposite area sort of develops into the picture and swipes at the white energy and takes a piece of it out, and the white energy starts to recede. Now the whole clip is
2 or 3 seconds.
a couple seconds, but if you slow it down on a time delay, you can see the whole thing develop very clearly.
Wow, cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was very unique. I've never captured anything like that before.
You're so crazy,
Well,
Tom.
we think it was, the Walso Indians were very, they were the local native tribe, and they're very present there. We've done the Stewart Indian School out there, where the Booth brothers started some filming of some of these Indian schools in the West. It was white man's solution to the Indian problem. Started in the late 1880s, 1890s. And they
I'm not going to go there.
Indian kids,
Right.
and they
brutal
with diseases, and they sort of shove them all together to get sick and die. I mean, there's a lot of brutality. The headmasters. So these facilities,
yeah, I know those were bad.
They're still around today, and we've actually done a lot of really interesting work on them. So I had met Janet through all of that, and so we sort of brought her in. So she's our remote member, and every so often we get her to come back east.
That's nice. That's nice.
So yeah, when we're all together, which isn't often, but we got together one time, the four of us, about a year or so ago, and did Pennhurst.
There we go.
Which was real special.
But about 2 years ago, we were doing one of our Facebook Live shows that we do on Thursday nights, and one of our viewers that had been watching us from the very first episode, Kathy Eisenhart, her daughter Haynie is very gifted psychic as well, and she's been dealing with it since, I guess, 2 or 3 years old that she remembers, and her house is unbelievably active. So her mother was watching us on the live show and says, Haynie, you need to email these guys. They're for real, and I think you would be a good fit. So she sent us an email, and I read it live on the show, which of course mortified her. But she said she would love to investigate with us. So we invited her to her first investigation with us in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, a place called the Keeley Mansion, which is fantastic. And the chemistry with team-wise just worked out so well. We invited her to join, so now it's the four of us.
Nice.
Now, I'm sure, Cindy, you've, being a psychic and all that too, I mean, you can testify to the trauma that being a psychic is. And that was Haynie as a young girl, even though her mother also has the gift, and so does her children. It's evidently real strong in the family. I guess she was never properly able to deal with it or understand it as a younger girl. And it's really created a lot of problems. I mean, a lot of people in that position do a lot of things to try to compensate. And so, that when Haynie first went with us, she said, that's it. It's like a key fitting in a lock. She sort of, it really gave her like a purpose and an understanding, which she's been able to grow from.
That's amazing.
So, I admire you guys so much. I mean, I got into, I've really been working hard with the metaphysical aspects and crystals, and I got into Moldavite a couple years ago.
Oh, I love Moldavite.
And it just opened, and I had my eye opened and all that, and it
strong.
Just opened new doors where my gift, it's not dependable, like you can't just turn it on and off, but every so often I mean, I can see the people. When we've been doing a show, I've had people come through to me, but that's also a learning curve in trying to ground yourself and protect yourself.
Yes.
And I'm still in that learning process. And before all this COVID hit, this is going back to September and October of 2019. I had several instances waking up 3:30 in the morning, just filled with dread, hopelessness, like I'd been removed from my spiritual base. And I mean, it took about a half an hour of intense prayer for me to get back to zero. So
that's about right, because during the ascension, I had a lot of people that I know that right around that same exact time frame last year, fall time, October, November, we were all not doing that well. We were all being inundated because of the ascension that's going on.
And I'm not a depressed kind of person. And
no,
I mean,
but it's heavy.
And it's just, I mean, it just was so unsettling. And, so I don't wear my Moldavite all the time now. I'll wear it when we're going to do an investigation. I'll sort of put it on about 48 hours before we do the investigation and start fine tuning the devices. And it's really been fascinating.
I actually had 2 of my clients, and who are friends, and they didn't know that they were both my clients until they started talking to each other, and they're like, "What? You go to Cindy too?" And they were it was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this!" And they ended up getting me a piece of Moldavite and gifting it to me. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Moldavite is very expensive, even for small pieces.
Well, you've got that one small area there, and that's it.
Yeah.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
That's it. Once it's gone. Yeah.
If you go in the books and look, it'll list it like soon to be extinct. That's the way it's Moldavite.
Yeah.
So that's really been fascinating.
Yeah. It's a nice stone. I really like it. I mean, it's pretty so Moldavite was made because of an asteroid hitting, I think it's Moldavia. I don't know. That's how it came as Moldavite, is the area in which it hit over in like Russia.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
And a warning to anybody, if you read about Moldavite before you try to go get any, and then watch out.
You don't. It's not for everybody. It is not a stone for everybody. It is very much outer space, because when the asteroid hit the Earth, and as it was cooling, that is what happened. It created the Moldavite between our Earth and their metals of
if someone's trying to sell you Moldavite and it looks all beautiful, green and translucent, it ain't Moldavite. They're selling green glass, turning it off as Moldavite.
Yeah.
Moldavite.
Hi, Bill Davis.
Is very cloudy. It's I guess like a forest green color. While it's sort of neat, it's very rigid, so you don't have like an emerald green. It doesn't polish up to that. That's not Moldavite.
Right.
So if you're looking to get some, you want to work with someone reputable. That
I agree with you completely.
With the real thing. Yep.
Yes, my Moldavite isn't down here. I actually use my Moldavite very specifically for specific things. Well, I'm like, Robert, Cindy, you wouldn't have your Moldavite down here right now.
Well, Robert put it up here. He says Moldavite is a member of the tektite group of natural glasses formed from the interplanetary collision. From the Greek word tektos, meaning molten, tektites are glassy mixtures of silicon dioxide, aluminum oxide, and other metal oxides with an amorphous crystal structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've even had spirit on investigation at the Keeley Mansion. In the upper quarters, there's this brilliant young lady named Anna, and somehow she was in charge of taking care of the children to the family. And she was very well educated for her period. And she doesn't like men, we suspect.
Except for Jim.
So we suspect some men have, been not too nice to her over the years. Although the owner of the house, she has said, was very kind to her. But she tolerates me. I don't know what that says about me. But
well, you're a kind human then.
I had taken some little Moldavite for both our sensitives, and I was using the one bracelet. And I do not go in Anna's room for respect for her. And anyhow, bottom line short, I was in a session downstairs and the Moldavite was missing. And we later found it in Anna's room on the floor. This is like 2 stories up. And through the Phasma box doing EVP, a lady who was assisting us had asked if they had taken it. She said she could hear a voice saying, "I've taken your Moldavite," and we found it upstairs. So
that's amazing.
That was pretty cool. If spirits
pretty cool.
Trying to get a hold of it, it must be pretty potent.
That's awesome.
Now, see, Barry Martz put up here, the Stone of Transformation Moldavite is nicknamed the Stone of Transformation and is thought to have been created from meteorite that crash landed 14.8 million years ago. It is believed to have crashed in the present-day Czech Republic, more specifically the Bohemian Plateau.
Absolutely, and that's it. That's it. That one area created by that one incident. When it's
Steve Berry, nice comment for Cindy. I can't put it up here, but okay. Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
So, and as you get
I can share it with everybody.
More and more stuff just keeps emerging, you just, it's constant learning.
See, now, unfortunately, I need the equipment we use because when it comes to interaction with spirit on a spiritual level, like yourself and Jim and Haley, I am dense as a block of wood. I just don't pick up on anything. I don't know.
Well, I believe that everybody is psychic. You just may not be on the same level as Jim.
I've had some dreams that were very, very vivid, and I do believe there's messages being sent to me in that.
Yes.
But as far as like being on site and being able to pick up what's there or remote view, it eludes me at this point.
Well, you have to remember, though, too, Dave, that there's other parts of it. Like, I'm an empath, so there's a lot of things that I get. It's emotional stuff. It's not really what Cindy gets. It's not like what Cindy gets sometimes with visions or seeing things.
Right.
A lot of times it's just emotion, or
just
you're right. It's just a lot of different things, and I would never say that, this person is better than I am. We're all different. We all have a gift. It's just finding out what it is and putting it to work for you,
Well, and spirit presents itself to different people in different ways.
I agree, because I'm not going to pick up on everybody either.
You're ready to perceive it.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that.
We all know they know a lot more than we do.
Yep. So. Absolutely. Sometimes I'm specifically kept in the dark. I mean, spirit, obviously there's workarounds to all of us that do what we do when we do spiritual work. There are ways to get around our abilities, and it's really frustrating, to be honest, when they do that, because it freaks me out when they actually do something like physical, or I see with these eyes. It freaks me out.
And sometimes it's very difficult for being, an empath as well, because there's sometimes the feelings aren't even yours. It's something else, and it's like you don't mean to act that way or whatever, but it just happens. But so your team starts. So you guys put the team together when, about 2000?
Before then,
well, we started full-time investigating around 2000. But we didn't actually coin the name of the team until maybe 8-10 years ago.
Oh, wow, nice.
Before that, it was just Gemini, so it was just Gemini. We never really thought of an actual team.
Gemini.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So, do you guys do like residential, or just basically pay to play, as they say?
No. We've done residential homes. We've done private businesses. We've done the pay to plays, obviously. Matter of fact, and Ted, you were there. Financial advisor owns the Thaddeus Stephen Log Cabin in Gettysburg. So
it's an awesome place.
Several times.
Yeah, I was there. It was awesome.
Did you guys just do that in July?
Yeah, we stayed in it while we were there at Gettysburg.
Every year for the backs, we reserve it and stay there and investigate. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
Dave interviewed me. I was trying to find something to do, and he's like, "Hey, we're down here," and so Sheila and I stopped over there, and I did a quick interview with him, and it was cool.
Really bailed me out, actually, because Jim had a meeting, and by the time he got back, the show was almost over. Normally it's Jim and I, and with the bash not actually happening, I didn't really have a whole lot of subject matter to go over. And I knew there were people in town, but most of them didn't make it until Friday, so Ted really bailed me out and helped me out, so appreciate that.
You know what's fascinating, Ted, about that weekend, though, normally the Thaddeus Stevens house is about history. In other words, history of that period. You can we think on a couple occasions we've connected with Thaddeus and had him reveal some personal items. That whole period of time, nothing about the history. It was talking about what's going on in this country with the social injustice and everything else. We must have had the name George Floyd spoken outright 7 or 8 times.
She must be talking about a ghost box.
No, just even we had got it on Ghost Box. We also got it on straight EVP, recording it right on a recorder. And then there was another group came in. We had, let them do it the one night, and they were upstairs and got George Floyd coming out.
Wow, that's crazy. Is that who was supposed? Is that the name of the individual whose house it was?
No. That's the black guy that got killed at all this.
That's right. That's what I thought at first, but then I'm like, wait, I'm so confused right now.
They wanted.
That's crazy.
That's what Spirit wanted to talk about, and if we had done, I was just at Haldeman Mansion on this past Saturday.
I love Haldeman, but it scares me.
It's very different right now, Cindy. Somebody, and this is the group knows it, who owns it. Somebody had brought a mirror into the house and brought like an opening, and there's a whole set of spirits in there, which has dampened out all the regular spirits and is very controlling, and it's a problem. The summer kitchen was the normal, but the main house, very old.
The summer kitchen was not normal.
No,
but he means
above it.
The original spirits that you normally would encounter there were there, but in the house itself, because someone had brought this mirror in and opened a portal of sorts, the spirits that have come through since are basically drowning out and dampening down the spirits that were already inhabitants of the house.
Did they get rid of the mirror? Did they take the mirror out?
They're working on putting the
neck close the portal first.
They're working on getting them back, close the portal, and cleanse and get rid of.
I want to know how to do that. The people in my portal right now, they're like, "Fuck no! Don't tell her that."
But the one guy I was with, he's pretty sensitive, and as soon as he walked in, he just said, "Something is dreadfully off in here." He just was right on top of it, and he sort of feels spirit in his stomach. He'll get like sick to the stomach, and he said, "Jim, I'm ready to hurl."
Yes.
And he was down all night.
Yeah, so that's how right above the summer kitchen, if I didn't have our sound producer with us, I really would have been in a very bad place. I would have been passed out. It only took a few seconds for me to be up there. I was talking to John. He came up after me. Because for some reason, I don't normally ask anybody to go any place with me. But for some reason, right before I was walking towards the summer house, and John was walking straight. I'm like, "John, you're coming up with me, right?" And he said, "Sure." Thank God. When I say that, I am not kidding you. Within 2 minutes of being up there, I got up the stairs, went around, you know how it's like the half rail right there, and I went over to the window because the lady said, "Hey, make sure you go to the window." So I went over to the window, and all of a sudden, as I'm walking back toward John, I go, "John, I'm not feeling good." I said, "Holy shit, John, I am not doing well." I literally started spinning. I was ready to pass out. I was so close to passing out. I would never have made it down those stairs by myself if John hadn't been there first. with me to help me down and out of that place. It was bad.
Yeah.
I've never had that happen before, nor have I had it happen since.
Yeah, it affected Haley much the same way because of the history of what had happened there with the I guess it was a sexual assault of a woman, and she's still there and still living through that every day. So,
and I didn't know that. I didn't know that. They didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I was seeing the children playing when I was in the main house, because where Teddy, John, and I were set up for Paratalk Radio. They were like beckoning me to come over to the summer house, of course. And I was seeing the children playing Ring Around the Rosie. It was fine. It was very nice. And then when I went over there, I felt this man's presence, and it was terrible. It was terrible. It was the most despicable thing I've ever felt, actually.
Well, we, toward the end of the night, we had finally worked upstairs. We were back in the servants' quarters room.
And, Jesus, yes.
Yeah, and there was like
upstairs. I think it is, right?
Yes, yeah.
Isn't it like Isn't it like a yellow color in that room or something?
Yeah. So
yes.
Anyhow,
that room was scary too.
Oh yeah, that was active, and it was messing with some of the cat balls and all the. So anyhow,
Cindy's beard needs work. Listen, Bill, you used to be my friend.
Where the mirror was just like 2 rooms across from us. And so a number of the group all went over there to address something that was going on with the mirror. And I was in the room by myself. And so I basically, I like to be a lot of times by myself with spirit, and I'll just sit down and talk to it. And so anyhow, I'm in there and I'm talking to spirit, and I'm like, do you have any idea what we're going through and the situation of, on this side of the bill, what we're encountering? And I think they might be able to hear it. I don't know.
Holy shit! We're talking about this, and I'm telling you right now, I'm literally getting so hot, and
well, this one will blow you mind. This was again not with a spirit box. This is just my
yes. Oh my gosh! Water. I'm literally getting so nauseous talking about this. Holy shit!
It says Halderman. Mm-hmm. It should only be this one. It says, listen to this, and you'll hear me pose the question, and you'll hear the answer. It's real clear.
Are you aware of
that's not it.
All the trials and tribulations on our end nowadays with the great unrest?
Did it say we're watching?
We are watching.
Have any involvement?
Sure. Yeah,
lady. Great unrest.
I have goosebumps all over my body right now. I don't know if you guys can see them, but
okay, but I want to know. I want to know where that came from. I want to know if that's on the ghost box or just an EVP, like a digital recorder.
There's a recorder.
Okay. Okay, just asking.
I like that Teddy asked that, because that would have been my question too, because we don't like those
I hate
boxes.
The ghost box. I hate the ghost
box.
It's a piece of shit
pink box,
to me.
The voice box, whatever you want to call it.
Steve Barry gave me this, I guess it's a modern Olympus DP201. It's so easy to use. I mean, that's one thing I love about it.
Yeah.
And the clarity is amazing. And like I said, the rest of the other 4 people were like the next room over. Something was coming out of that mirror and acting up, and they were trying to get it reduced and back to the mirror. And when I'm in that, I just like to sit down and like one-on-one. Okay, spirit, it's you and me. Let's talk turkey kind of stuff. And I was feeling a presence around me, and that's what I'm just asking, with what we're going through. And it just I looped that. In other words,
No, that's cool. That's cool. We unfortunately, like between Cindy and I, we've got people that actually work with these devices to try and, make or break them. And unfortunately for us, scientifically, there's nothing at all with a ghost box that interests us. Whatever. For everybody else, it's cool. But for us, it's just
It's interesting sometimes when things are picked up and
it's random. But yeah, it's for everybody else, it's cool. We're not going to put down anybody else that uses them. For us, we just don't. We just have a hard time.
I need to know what's going on. What are they? They're saying that you have a great beard in here. And son, tickle.
They're saying that I got a great goatee, and they're saying tickle, and they're doing all this stuff.
And large but groomed and tight. It's a glorious beard.
Whatever.
And
they're trying to embarrass me.
He was talking about the makeup on. Also, Steve Barry. And then he said Cindy's beard needs work. No, Cindy's fine, beard free. I mean, who says Cindy has a beard at all? Yeah. I'm just curious.
So I want to know who put this thing up from Keystone Note. I was reading it there.
Probably one of their. Do you want me to read it really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. You read it.
Another investigator got an amazing orb capture in the summer kitchen, first floor on one investigation. I ran in to see if I could see them, but I couldn't, and the anomalies left shortly after. Unfortunately, I've not seen the footage since that night. It was the best orb capture I've ever seen, as at times it was two anomalies interacting with each other. It was probably the kids, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
That's probably Haley.
Okay.
Her and I went one time where Jim wasn't able to make it, and another investigator had set up his DVR system and got to, and I trust me, after 20 years plus, I know the whole thing about orbs, but this was like two light bulbs interacting and playing with each other on camera. And when she ran in to see if she could see them with her eyes, they had left, but you could feel the energy as it was fading away.
That's crazy.
Do you have a copy of that footage still?
It was
Hi, Jesse.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my little Jessica.
Private investor. It wasn't on.
Okay. That's too bad, because that would be interesting to see. Because with the amount of people
I wasn't doing well, Barry.
With the amount of people that we interact with every year, that we talk with, and this big battle in the paranormal with orbs and ghost boxes and equipment and all this stuff. It'd be really cool to see something interesting for a change, instead of the normal, orbs floating through the dust and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, I always look for the anomalies. But I'm talking anomalies from the normal, like orb crap, so definitely something like that would be cool to see.
Wait, so I don't see some of these comments, I guess, that they're saying. I don't know what Tim is saying. Is Tim Conwell in here or something?
Tim?
Because Barry said Cindy K. Thompson, Tim, LOL.
I don't see that.
Anthony would have
Maybe Steve's overdosing on his meds and he's just typing random nonsense.
Oh, wait. So I need to know what Jesse, what were you? That's my daughter, Jessica Williams. That's my daughter, everybody. She said, me too. What, Jesse, what are you talking about, honey? What were you saying me too about? But Bill was asking me if I was okay. I really wasn't okay a moment ago when we were talking about Haldeman. Ugh.
Now,
it was bad for a minute there.
When Dave and Haley went that night, and again, I didn't go. I wasn't feeling good. They got an amazing session with a ball on the staircase where the entity knocked the ball down the case and then in that middle platform, it then brought it down the rest of the stairs. Now, Dave got that on the Facebook Live feed.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
And that's cool. They both were like, we had blinking with the language. They were like, holy.
After 20 years, that caught me off guard because I was looking down. Haley was sitting on the floor next to me, and I was looking. She was using the SLS camera, and I was looking at that. And just as I brought my eyes up, the ball was bouncing upstairs. And wow, and I got it.
Well, then you were there to catch it, right?
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about it, too, is for anybody who thinks that maybe we were somebody upstairs who kicked it for us, I had a Solo X camera in the windowsill on the second floor. So It's facing this way, and the ball is here, and you see that there's nobody there, and then the ball starts going down the stairs this way, and you hear my reaction.
Oh,
that's amazing! I love shit like that.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever had.
That's amazing.
But stuff that you're looking for, Ted, and we've got it on our website and our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, but stuff like at the Bel Air house when no one's in a room and a camera completely shifts its direction from looking in this corner to looking right at
that's awesome stuff.
That's fantastic.
The mantelpiece, and then the very next clip, there's a pinwheel sitting in a mason jar, and it just starts spinning, and then it stops, dead stops, and it spins a little bit more, and dead stops, and then starts spinning.
That's amazing.
And stops.
And we're actually showing there's no fans, there's no
central air,
no
windows are all
I'll
closed.
die in a great day.
We even had somebody stand
Stay home,
like it was, in it.
To
Any
see
kind of breeze.
I feel no breeze, and it's spinning behind them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
No, I just love this stuff. That's because here's one of the things that I believe is like in most cases when teams are out there and like us as well. We're looking for something specifically, and sometimes you don't get anything, and then there's times where you're so you're concentrating so much on this other stuff that you want to get that you don't like see or realize the stuff that's happening behind you or beside you or in another room.
Right.
And that's why I like to take a full DVR system so that I can put cameras in every single in every single room. Only because this is like that whole misconception of people say, oh, we only do it at night because that's when it's active, which is bull, because we do it during the day too, because if it's happening at night, it's happening during the day, you're just not seeing it. So it's another one of those things that I like having the DVR system set up for 24 to 48 hours and wherever we investigate. Whether there's people in and out of there or not, we try to have it to where the first 24 hours there's nobody there. But that you have to go in and check for breezes, you have to check for all this other crap, but if you still come up with an anomaly after that, then that's when you do your experiments and you try to figure that stuff out. I love that side of investigating, and it's really scares me that too many people don't do that. They just take what they get and think, oh wow, the place is haunted, and more experimentation and more stuff like that would be so much better. And I think we would appreciate it more too. I think as investigators, us spending the time to actually try and catch something valid while we're doing experiments. Oh my God, could you imagine the high we would get off of that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going crazy right now. I have to do this because it's driving my brain insane. Come a little bit closer, yeah. Got to do it. Steve Barry set me up in here. He set me up, and my brain couldn't stop saying it and singing it in my head. So he's telling you to come closer to the thing.
To the screen, Teddy. I know. He wants me to get closer. I'm not getting closer.
Spirits,
I'm comfy.
Don't schedule haunting times. And then Robert's cracking me up in here because he says ghost hunters do it all the time.
When Haley first joined the team, she asked me why we investigate always at night. I said 2 reasons. Number 1, we work during the day. And number 2, it looks better on camera. That's it.
But the truth of the matter is, to be honest with you, and most people ask why most of us do it at night. The truth of the matter is that it's quiet at night. There's not as much movement of human beings, of trucks going up and down the road, all this stuff. There's more peacefulness
less stuff too
at night, and that's why. Because we try to listen, we try to focus, and if you got everything else going on, how can you focus?
As the world sleeps, there's less distraction.
Exactly. There's less ADD moments at night.
So that's the truth, if anybody's wondering. That's why
we just even talked about this last week. We talked about this.
But
now,
this is why we do it at night. Okay.
I do have a question because I ask every paranormal team this, and Teddy knows this. He's been waiting for me to say it.
Yeah, I have. Because I was gonna.
Haley also, I know she's listening because she's answered. I want to know if you guys protect yourself, and especially because Haley is very sensitive. I want to know if you guys are protecting yourself going into these places.
Yeah, hold on.
I'll go get what is my protection.
Dave has a propensity for attracting real negative energies.
Okay.
He's sort of like been temporarily controlled for periods of time.
Oh, I told you there are that everybody's psychic. There's just different
He's
things.
had blackout episodes where he's wound up going into a section of the house without knowing why he's even there, and we find him. And so to protect him, he's going up to get. But yes, I wear a number of things for protection. I'm very spiritual. I'm LDS as far as my religion, and at that time I was high priest. So I'm pretty good.
Oh, you like my area then because you're LDS?
Yeah.
I live near Palmyra, New York.
Oh, well, I've been through there. Yes.
I got my protection.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous. Do you guys use a prayer or anything like that, or just
and a matter of fact,
anything?
when we left Halderman this past Saturday, I said a special prayer with the gentleman with me, basically utilizing the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, we basically commanded any spirits to stay there. We didn't want to take anything home with us. My wife, that's the only thing. She tolerates me as long as I don't bring stuff home.
Right. I mean, come on now. Who wants anything in their home? Oh, wait, I do. I have stuff in my home. Like I said, I have a portal.
So
Teddy does too. We both have stuff.
I try to minimize it.
Oh, I don't. It's not that listen, those bitches get salted into the bathroom into their closets.
In their closets, what? You got gay ghosts?
I mean, hey. I don't just keep the gay ones in there too. If there are any witches in there, I keep them in the closet.
Wow.
I keep them in the ghosty closet.
This is what you want me to protect myself.
Yeah.
This is my block of jet.
Oh my gosh! Hang on 1 second.
It weighs less than my cell phone, but it is almost as big.
Well, Dave, you missed it. Here's a piece of mine.
Yes, I've seen you wear that, and it has not served you well, sir.
Thank you. I also have this.
I have a big block of jet too. Hang on 1 second. Hang on.
Godzilla.
Gotta have Godzilla.
Now, Jim, at one point, Jim and I actually toyed with the idea of drilling a hole through it, putting a chain around it, and I'd wear it like Flavor Flav. Giant block of jet. Well,
I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that.
We didn't want to mess with its natural properties. We thought if we drilled a hole through it, it might corrupt it somehow.
Yeah.
That said, about a month ago, we did something which, in retrospect, was not very smart.
What do you want?
Stop screaming at me. Come here a second.
Oh, no.
I said to come on
Dave
here.
and I went up to
Hinsdale
House by ourselves. And Daniel, we had permission, and David arranged it with Daniel, but it was just the two of us. And we did our show from the living room area, and it was and the whole time we're doing the show, the audience is telling us that they're seeing shadow people walking around us, figures looking in the window behind us, and we saw they don't know really who he is, but there's a pretty nasty entity in the kitchen. We left the light on, and we could see it walking around in the kitchen.
And where was this?
The show.
Up at Hinsdale House.
Hinsdale House, upstate New York.
Really?
And
I've been to that place several times.
Oh, wait, that's Danny's, right? Hinsdale House is
Danny's.
Danny's.
Been there several nights. I never got anything like that.
And anyhow, so we're doing the show, and like I said, it was just the two of us, and stuff was happening. And it was just shortly after we finished the show, we were going to set up our equipment and start to investigate, and something blitzkrieged me really bad. And Haley and my friend Janet both said it was an Indian chief who was really didn't mean to harm me, but he's so powerful that he took all my body heat and all my energy. And so The house was 90 degrees.
Oh, it was so
and
hot. It was so
sweltering.
humid. And I'm in just shorts and a t-shirt. And I mean, it's just running down me. And this guy is sitting in the corner.
Yeah, it just hit me, and I'm
Shattering
just
his
shivering.
teeth.
I can't even control. So there was a blanket there on the couch. Yeah. So I'm under the blanket for like 2 hours trying to reestablish my body heat.
Oh, wow.
And I'm ventilating. And I really didn't. And came out a while. We did maybe 20 minutes or so. I had no more energy, and I'm done for the night. It's like 1:15. And when I got home, I mean, it was 4 days. I slept almost 4 days.
Wow.
Holy shit
Something
balls.
just took all the energy out.
I can't believe you just said that.
It really,
Wow.
and Dave wants to get back up there.
Jim does not.
I really don't. I don't.
Dave, let me know. Dave, let me know when you want to come up, and I'll go with you.
I want to go too. I've been
All right,
dying
the
to
three
go
of
to
us will go.
Danny's place.
Three of us will go. All right, so we're going to take a break because we have to play a couple
Well, I'm
commercials.
sure Haley's going, don't forget about me.
Yeah, but we have to do a couple commercials. We missed it here about 15 minutes or 10 minutes, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with Dave and Jim.
Nuts.
Okay, you do that. We'll be right back with Jim and Dave from Keystone Paranormal in just a minute, guys. So you guys hang tight.
WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.
All right, you guys, we also have to say that tonight is sponsored by DeVille Inc., so make sure that you go out and check out www.devilleinc.com. I did not have their video ready in time, so that's what you get. So check out devilleinc.com. Go check out my nephew. Get yourself a tattoo or two. So, all right, so we got back here where Haynie was saying, yes, I have left investigations when protection precautions have not been enough in my opinion. I always protect myself in multiple ways, but if I go somewhere and encounter something I really don't feel comfortable with, I leave after telling the guys and suggesting they leave too. What's about our heads is just that. I'm not messing with it. I have enough shit to deal with. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's cool.
Yeah, and you know, for the longest time, when Jim and I first started, I was not. I was not sold on psychics and sensitive and things like that. It just, for me back then, it was, this is too easy to fake, and there's cold reading and all this stuff. But then we had when he met Janet and got her to come back east to visit us, we took her to Gettysburg. And there was something that had happened to me physically on Triangular Field that she was not aware of. And when she came back, we got into Triangular Field with her. She made a beeline to the spot where I was knocked to the ground and kind of stood there with her head like this, like she was listening to somebody. And then she looked at me and she said, he wasn't trying to hurt you. You remind him of one of his soldiers. He was pushing you down out of the way of musket fire. And yes, it was the same officer who Jim had gotten a picture of in the woods earlier. And at that point, I was sold. So when we went to Penhurst, the four of us, and we went down the tunnels, I'm not picking up on anything. Jim's not picking up on anything. And Haley and Janet are both nervous and anxious, and they're just not enjoying it at all down in the tunnels. And again, like I said, dense. I'm let's just go record some stuff and everything, you know. And at one point we get to a certain area, and they both looked at us and almost in unison said, "We need to go and we need to get out of here now." They are here. They are plotting with each other what they're going to do to us. So,
holy shit!
So at that point,
hey, Eric.
I was like, well, they're both saying it, so we probably should listen. And we left.
Yeah, we did.
But we weren't picking up anything, but we left. Well, later that week, when Jim went over all the stuff on his Tascam, they were right. He picked up straight EVPs, several of them, about what they were going to do. They were having a conversation of what they were going to do to us if we stayed there.
They were right on. They were valuable. I mean, I don't know. I don't know really what they could have done, but they were trying to do it.
So we learned a valuable lesson that not just one, but especially if both of them are in agreement that we need to go, then we're going to go, because they know better than we do.
Hi, Isabel. I'm sorry I don't do readings tonight, not on this show. Come see me on Tarot Tuesday tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I just needed to put that out there. I saw it in the comments.
That's okay. That's all right.
Because she might ask again, so I didn't want to.
Right.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay.
Kathy put it up there. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. And hi, Eric. Nice to see you. We know you can't stay long because you're going to go back to the bump and grind, but yeah.
Eric,
Robert White says you are not a book, you are not open, and you don't have pictures.
You get no read.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think is interesting is like some of these places that like a lot of us have gone to, a lot of the same places.
Yeah.
And, you know, on any given day, it could be totally different stuff that you catch. And in some cases, you might not catch anything. I know at Hinsdale, I caught a little black shadow figure, probably 8 inches tall, go across from one side of this little cubby off the living room, go from one side to like the outline of a light and then turn around and scurry back like he didn't want to be seen in the light. And it was interesting because there was a balloon on the coffee table that moved just prior to that thing coming out, which is really strange. And the best part about it was you hear the cameraman saying, "I just saw a shadow." And he saw it with his own eyes because he's not looking through the camera lens. He's holding the camera. Right. So he saw it physically with his eyes as well as what was caught on the camera, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
And I do know that in the kitchen, if you put your back, if you're sitting in a chair and put your back to that little room that was the boys' room, the son's room, if you sit there with your back to it, me and another investigator got poked in the back, like somebody wanted to come out.
The Michael's room, I think it's called?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get poked right in the back. You had somebody else get that too?
No, and see, honestly, I think that was the problem we had was it was just Jim and I, and that after what was it, a 5.5 hour drive, something like that. That place has got a lot of energy, and I just think it was too much energy for two guys our age after a long drive like that. Plus,
Oh, you're not that old, Dave. Knock it off.
It was storming, so that added, that kind of ramped it up, and it was storming and everything. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, I would love to go back just with more than 2 people. It's just too much energy, I think, for 2 people.
Barry Marks is asking real quick. Sorry, Jim. He says, I'm curious how long ago it was that Jim visited the Hinsdale house.
That was
not that long ago.
That was 2 weeks before the bash, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah. 2 weeks
Oh, just this year?
Yeah, 2 weeks before what would have been.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So in July.
Yeah, they were in our area and didn't say hi. Damn it.
Yeah, it was that Thursday night. Yeah.
I'm an hour
It could
from
be
Hinsdale.
from my tarot group,
Okay.
Kathy.
I'm an hour from Hinsdale, so that's what I'm saying. And if you ever want to go, we could do it.
Absolutely. Love to be part of that.
Because her name was familiar to me too, so I'm sure that it was probably in my Tarot Tuesday. Okay, now I do have to say something. So, when I've never been to Hinsdale House, and I have seen Danny on a lot of occasions. And one of the things was, the first time I ever met Danny was at one of the Winter Parafests, and he had only a picture of the Hinsdale House, and I couldn't even stand next to his table because I was so nauseous and I was overwhelmed. So I've never really tried to tune in. So Danny came on the show with us just a couple months ago. And I literally was flooded. I have never been there, so I have no idea what it looks like. And all of a sudden I started, and his co-host of his new show that she was on with us.
Yep.
And so we were talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy cow, hang on a second. I started getting all of this information, and she's a medium too, so she's going, oh my gosh, and Danny was going, oh my gosh. And one of the things that I picked up on was Native American energy there at the place, at the house.
Well, now, I don't know the last time you were there, Ted, but they got now on near the pond, but to the right side of the pond area. Yeah. This is recently, within this, within 4 or 5 months, they brought a group and they were doing a taping of a show, and they used that under the
GPR, ground penetrating radar.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Covered where there's a lot of bodies,
or where what they called them was possible body tubes, places where bodies could be buried. They didn't distinctly say that there were remains there, but what they got from the ground penetrating radar was that it's a possibility, and they have them marked off with little red flags out there. So,
and they have a bunch, and they don't think they've even started.
It's more than a dozen, more than a dozen, maybe 2 dozen.
And we were actually looking forward. They fixed up the little pier there so you can sit on it.
Take care, honey. Have a great night at the Hive.
We were actually looking forward to sitting out that night on the pier and running some recordings and all that, But when that thing hit me, I mean, I couldn't go outside. I'd freeze to death. That's how I lost all my body temperature.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
I was really sick. Yeah, very sick. And
well, the place has got a history, and and unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation as well. So there's a lot of things about that place. So if you've ever been to the Hinsdale House, for anybody that's listening, I'm sure Danny would love any information that you've gotten, any evidence, anything like that. Sure, reach out to him. I'm sure he'd take it. He's always looking for as much help as possible in what actually happened there. But we've heard so many stories about people, just spirits walking the land at night, and just several. I mean, like 12, 15, all the time. We know of a little boy over by the pond. We know of a young lady there. Yeah. But there's just a lot of stuff. And if you come up with anything that you believe is real evidence, please send it Danny's way. He'd love it.
Absolutely.
Now, in the morning, we did, and I was not, Dave was tired because he hadn't slept all night. And we both made the effort of war. And for me, I have a lot of orthopedic issues. I have 2 really bad knees
Me
and
too.
a degenerated cyst in the ankle. So walking for me can be challenging. And you know how they have those steps leading up the hill in the
Yeah.
back? They have that trio. I made the effort to climb all those stairs, and we put some beef jerky
Some jerky
up
up
on
there
the tree.
as an offering.
As an offering, so the Native American
Eat
spirit
'em.
knew we were being sincere. And so I feel good that we did that.
Right.
Nice.
I'm not ready to go back right now. I have to do more examination. I was very, very ill.
I
Well, it
understand
affects
that completely.
it affects if that's energies like that affect everybody differently. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just be thankful that you're fine now, and
Yeah.
if you don't ever
I
plan
need
on
to-
going back, then maybe it's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
And
I need to
you know
talk
what?
about
The cool thing about his experience is now he got a taste of what I experienced when I was at the Bel Air house for the first time. And what happened to me there. So, welcome to the club, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Scarborough Sasquatch Station. Okay, I want to answer these. Say these. Robert says, "Sounds like Jim was cored like an apple, but of heat."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Kathy DeGraff. Go ahead.
I practiced at Hopkins for like 37 years, not 47. I'm not that old yet. But anyhow, and I was in oncology, was my specialty, and we've seen people with systemic fungal infections and the severe rigors they have with some of the drugs we have to use to treat those. And it was very similar. The rigor and the muscle rigidity and all, what I experienced was very similar to what I would see those patients. And that's often accompanied by a loss of body heat as well. And yeah, I mean, I could definitely realize from a physical point what was happening to me. But,
wow, that's crazy.
But yeah, that was, and interestingly enough, I worked at Johns Hopkins. We had the oncology center, which is
what did you do there, Jim?
I was a
oncology pharmacist.
Specialized
That's amazing,
in
though.
leukemias and that. And
I was his tech.
Yeah, he was my tech.
That's amazing.
Yeah, night shift. So anyhow,
that's crazy.
Listen,
I was at the hospital at night, so you guys had to have seen some shit at your hospital at night.
When we went to do the deep site excavation to build the oncology center, and it had formerly been a parking, high-rise parking lot, all of a sudden we started unearthing wooden coffins with skeletal remains.
Are you kidding me?
No, if they found out that the city had used that land as a pauper's graveyard.
There were several black churches that used it for burial again too, and no records. So Hopkins, at a great expense, it delayed the building maybe as long as 8 months and millions of dollars. We actually reinterred the remains.
Oh my gosh!
And gave them Christian burials, but we know we didn't get a lot because some of them, the coffins had disintegrated and you had bones. And so when we opened up the center, we were getting stuff happening. And we actually had, before we'd even opened the center, we had one of the guards, a young man in his 20s, went over there and hung himself.
Oh my gosh.
In the new construction. And the first night we opened, all the nurses on our transplant unit were hearing cries for help. They went bed to bed. Nobody's call buttons were engaged. Everybody was sleeping, but they all heard these cries for help. And that started. I mean, we had, again,
patients walking in their gowns with their IV poles in areas where patients couldn't access.
Right.
Conversations with sinks, believe it or not.
You know how for your hands, washing your hands, and it's electric sinks. I would have conversations with sinks. that I really felt spiritual energy.
Yep.
We're running,
And
I was Texas sitting there watching, and I'm asking the yes and no questions and getting response. I mean,
Yep.
it was interesting.
Hi, Christina. I love you.
So yeah, it's all around. It's a lot of times people just aren't aware of what they're.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I had an experience like that in the women's bathroom at its Jiva Theater in Rochester, and all of a sudden, as I'm the only one left in there, I can hear the toilet go off, and I'm like, "Oh, that was interesting," and I just think about it for a second, and I just leave it alone because it's the automatic flushing one. I'm like, nothing's in there, nobody's in there. I can see the door is open. I'm like, okay, that's just interesting. Well, then it flushes again, and I'm like, okay, so is there somebody here with me? And it immediately flushes again. I'm like, they were so stupid trying to put these automatic things in, the automatic water, the automatic toilet flushing, and Spirit is just having a heyday fucking with it all.
Absolutely.
Yep. Literally had the same experience except in a theater in Rochester.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's funny how you can take a lot of this everyday equipment and just turn it into a paranormal
What's that noise?
device.
It was my phone going
I heard that too.
Oh.
It's because my phone is vibrating and my son was calling me.
Gotcha.
And so because my phone is on my so you can see it right here.
It's on your mic stand?
It's on, and my mic stand is right next to it.
Okay.
They're both clipped to the same table.
That was just weird. It was like, okay.
And it's
not ghosts.
Cindy, it's funny that you bring up the toilet because unlike a lot of people in the field, my first experience with the spirit was not as a small child. I was 19 years old. 2 weeks to the day before I left to go to basic training, my mother's father, my pop, he passed away in my parents' house. And that struck me very hard because he was the only member of my immediate family that had served. And it was very special to me that I wanted him to see me graduate basic training.
Right.
And of course, not understanding that, even though he was gone, he still saw,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went and did basic training, and I come back for 2 weeks before I went to my permanent duty station. And I'd gone out with my friends that night, had a couple drinks, but nothing, 2 or 3 over a course of maybe 4 or 5 hours. So I still, I was not inebriated in any way. And I get home, and I open the door to the refrigerator to get some water, and I hear the bathroom door shut. And the light turns on. And I thought, I checked the time, and I said, well, my father probably did a few hours overtime, and he's just getting in and going to the bathroom. So I went and knocked on the door, and I said, Pop, open up, I go to the bathroom. No answer. I'm waiting. Pop, hurry up, I go to the bathroom. Finally, after about 10 minutes, I got to go. So I said, well, Pop, you're about to see your youngest son in his birthday suit because I got to go. I'm coming in. And I opened the door, and there's no one in there, but the toilet bowl was filling up as if it had just been flushed.
Wow, that's amazing.
That had to be Pop. That had to be Pop. Because when my grandfather went to the bathroom, he didn't care if the house was on fire. He ain't answering until he's coming out. He just his old self, that's how he was. When I'm in here, I don't talk to anyone. That was almost like it was gross. It's all from the toilet.
That's amazing. Wow. That is amazing. Anyway, so the reason I was calling my son in here to come in is because his name is Jet. So you said you had your big piece of Jet, and I was going to say I have my big piece of Jet as well.
Yeah, yours is big.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
he ruined my joke, though.
We had told Ted that Jim had come up with the idea to drill a hole through this thing, and I'd wear it on a chain like Flavor Flav.
Yeah. Except he had a big clock, didn't he?
Right. But ultimately, we decided against it because we didn't want to affect its natural properties, by drilling into it. So.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
You wouldn't affect it. I think it would still be just as amazing because then when whatever metal that you're using to hold it on the chain, or having it on.
Right.
You can either do leather or even a metal. Depending on the metal, it would give new properties of protection as well.
So for the longest time,
Haley
was calling me Flavor Dave.
That's fantastic. So you could just wrap it even. You can even wrap it with leather wrap it so it will hang.
We had it at the Hinsdale house, by the way, that night.
Right around here.
And Dave, as I started to react, Dave handed it to me. So I had it in my hands. And I think for a while it did slow. It was slowing down the rigor somewhat, but then it just got overpowered. So
Robert says, Cindy, oh wait, you said clock. What does that mean? I don't get it, Robert.
Kimberly Porter is over here in the watch party, and she says, we were coming home from Florida last summer, stopped at a rest stop in Virginia, and to my knowledge, I was the only one alone in the bathroom. Once I got in the stall, the automatic hand dryer went off by itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Those things are...
I've seen stuff like, sinks popping on, but ultimately it was, the sink had issues itself because it's old and it needed a new seal and stuff like that. But it's
that was funny. Did you guys hear that?
What?
Tom Nally, what he said? He says, haha, talking about Flava Flav, and Cindy said, you can wrap it.
Wow.
Take out the L. Oh, wait, Cindy, you said clock.
Jesus.
Right.
Terrible. Terrible.
These guys, I know what he's saying. He's just trying to get me to say cock.
I know. He's trying. And then people wonder.
I did it. I did it for him.
Yeah, well, and they wonder why our show is this way. Because of our fans,
I'm
not
damn
just us.
funny. I'm funny.
Because
they think I'm blonde and I'll just fall for it, but then I just do it because it's just funny.
It's just funny.
Funny. Dave went to the bathroom in the Keeley and woke up in the basement 45 minutes later. Yeah. What the hell?
That was the first and hopefully last time I ever experienced lost time. We were in the Keeley Mansion in Uniontown, PA, and we were doing a Phasma box session in one of the main parlors on the main level. And, I was fine. I was engaged. I was asking questions. I was using some of the equipment. And then out of nowhere, I started to just kind of go, and I was drinking these very tall monster drinks.
Oh, shit, you shouldn't be drinking them, boy.
Well, no, it's been about 10 months now. Yeah. I stopped them, but I was drinking 4 or 5 of them a day, and I chugged one, and I still just couldn't keep my eyes open. So I assumed Spirit was using my energy. So I went outside and had a cigarette and said, okay, now I'm fine, I'm good. And I said to Haley and Nikki Paranormal, I said, look, let me go to the restroom, and then I'll meet you guys back in the parlor, and we'll start up again. They said, okay. So I went to the restroom, I used it, I flushed, I washed my hands. The next memory I have, I'm in the basement. Haley is standing here screaming my name, and Nikki is standing in front of me doing this. And I kind of just came out of it, and when I did, it scared the hell out of me because they're screaming at me. And I was, what are you people doing? You scared the hell out of me. Where have you been? I said, how did I get in the basement? They're like, we don't know. You've been gone for 45 minutes.
They were looking.
So I had a camera on the shelf behind me that was filming. So we pulled the chip out of it and put it into the laptop. And this all took place about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, at midnight, the camera stopped itself recording. It didn't shut off. As a matter of fact, when I pulled the chip out, it was still on. It just stopped itself from recording, but it had over 1 gigabyte of space left on it. So that means the night prior, when all this happened, it would have had well over 1 gig, probably 4 or 5 gigs left on it. So it had plenty of space to record. So something had stopped it from recording. And the time that it actually did record from, I think it was 6 p.m. to midnight, there was nothing on it. It recorded, But we had done at least three sessions down in that basement, and it didn't record any of it. It was just all you heard was us walking upstairs and traffic on the outside of the house. But
that's crazy.
If you take a camera and you turn it and set record, and you set it down and you walk away, it records you walking away. It didn't even have that.
Wow.
That's weird.
I don't know how to edit that stuff out, even if I don't even know it's possible.
Yeah.
So weird.
That is weird. And even with electronics having their own glitches, I mean, I have a camera that does that from time to time. But you don't know. You don't know. You have to chalk it up to a what if, a question mark.
45 minutes, I have no recollection whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's crazy, Dave.
Yeah.
So it kind of actually makes me feel like, well, first of all, there are several things that happened, and I think it was just like a perfect storm for you. Number one, when you're highly tired, things can get in, right?
Yes.
You're doing a paranormal thing, you are highly tired, you're drinking monster drinks, so you're actually trying to feed your body some energy, right?
Right.
And it's like a perfect storm for spirit to try and come in at just the right moment to feed off of those little bits of energy that you're putting in your body, but then being able to drain you of what you have left, right?
Right.
So I think it was just like a very perfect storm. Unfortunately, when I meditate sometimes, and this is what I'm seeing for you, so correct me if I'm wrong. All I'm seeing for you in that moment was complete black. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So that makes me feel as though you still were there, you just were pushed out of the way.
Yeah, that Janet and Haley described it as a severe influence.
It was, they literally pushed you out of the way. It was like you were channeling at that moment, and they just possessed and took over your body and consciousness. So when I get into those moments of meditation, like Teddy has seen me, in fact, in places like that where I've been tired. I wasn't drinking coffee or anything like that, but we did one at Virgin House, Teddy. Do you remember? You're like, Cindy, you were just gone. Yeah. I literally remember they thought I was sleeping at first. I was completely perfectly straight, but I was just gone. I don't remember anything. I just remember Teddy all of a sudden going, Cindy, Cindy. That's all I remember. I was gone. I was completely gone.
And you described it perfectly, because it's almost like there is a memory there.
Yeah, it's black.
The memory that's there between washing my hands and throwing the thing in the wastebasket and them screaming in my ear in the basement is just, it's like they cut that part of the movie out and just put a black streak.
Yes, that's exactly it. It literally is a black screen.
They're screaming at.
Yep.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And that is a terrifying feeling. And I'm like, I'm going to go downstairs now.
And see, maybe it's just because I'm twisted or whatever, but I wasn't so much scared that I'm angry that time was taken from me, and the things that I employ to help me recover that also failed for some anomalous reason. That camera should have recorded.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
So that makes me angry more than anything else, that I had stuff in place that when things like this happen, this will let me know, and it didn't.
Right. Well,
Tom Nally.
He's enough.
He said, just now realizing that Ted's name says author in front of it. LOL, never saw that before. Because it's brand new. He just showed it today. he just put author Ted Van Son Jr. Yes, he just did that too.
And that's, even though I've been an author for 3 years now, or 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways.
You're allowed. He's published.
Yes, I'm published.
He's published, Tom, so he can say that he's an author.
Anyways, I was going to say, some of the things like, I know that with some of the UFO stories, with some of the people that were abducted, or at least claimed that they were abducted, have lost time as well.
Yeah.
And there has been some places that have actually pointed that it may not have been aliens itself. It may have been a spirit from that home or wherever from that area. There could have been, but there are cases where there's still just a lot of question marks. Either way, losing time, I would be pissed too. I mean, you don't want to lose time. You want to be a little, you know, you want to know what the hell's going on, and that's why, like with Cindy, she's able to go back and bring people back to those times to where they can see the blackouts, which is really cool. It's a talent of hers, and that's awesome.
It's really neat.
And see, like it's the natural investigator in me that wants to say, I had a camera there. It can show me what happened, and I'll have
I
this
would be curious.
great. And it failed me, and the natural investigator in me is mad because my equipment failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Actually, I would wonder what you would remember, like your subconscious would remember when, if I hypnotized you and took you back to that moment.
Right.
I would be super curious what you would remember.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think
That would be crazy, because I had somebody who believed that her and her partner, they weren't yet married, they wondered if they were abducted, and she only wanted to go back to as far as validating that fact. She didn't want to know anything else of what they did to them or anything.
Right.
She just wanted to account for that lost missing time and validate that it was extraterrestrial, and then she brought herself out of it because I gave her the suggestion that if at any time you want to come back, you are in full power of your body, mind, and you will return to your full capacity.
Very cool.
It was crazy.
I want to bring something up. So you guys, as in Keystone State Paranormal, so you guys just do hauntings and ghost stuff. Do you do anything outside of that?
We
like
have
cryptids, UFOs.
Well, we haven't up to this point, but we've been kind of opening it up. We've had a woman named Shitan Noir as a guest on our show, and she does all the cryptids and the ufology and all of that stuff. She's a published author of Lake Monsters of Michigan and things like that.
That's cool.
So, we're starting to open up into these things. We're going to have what's his name with the translucent people? Brian Bowden is going to be a guest to talk about his take on translucent people and things
what does
like
that mean, translucent people?
It's
matter of fact, his new show on TV, Travel Channel, debuted tonight at 10. I'm recording it so I can watch it to discuss it with you.
Think of the 80s movie Predator with Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah.
How the alien was able to bend light and he looked see-through.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
These
okay.
things aren't going around murdering people.
No.
They're just... They're there.
They're just hiding.
They're picking them up on a lot of the hunters' cameras, trail cams. They also have picked some up in the city. Some of that film is made it on Paranormal Caught on Camera, where they had 6 of these entities crossing on the underside of a bridge in Houston, over a bridge, like a big span bridge.
And
it's very bizarre.
Haley has been educating us a lot on the Fae world.
Yay, Fae!
So does
she work with the Morrigan?
I don't know. I know she has a fairy garden. So
and a couple years ago we were caught in on a residential haunting that was potentially something, a very strong negative force. And a person had committed suicide. They'd shot themselves with a rifle on the porch of this home. We were told by not only Janet, but also we've worked with Tammy Knighton and Angels of Enlightenment from the West Coast. And they were telling us that whatever we tried to cleanse or limit the powers, that it could overcome us. It could call to power anything. Well, that's not our game. We're not demon hunters. So we went there just to sort of see what's going on. The husband and wife both had said they'd been having
suicidal
thoughts. They had 3 daughters. I mean, it was a bad situation.
Yes.
As we're there and just scoping out things, and it's in the middle of a state forest here down in our area. It's very dense, wooded hills. There's some orchards there. The homes are scattered very far apart. I talked to a couple of their neighbors who all started coming up with Bigfoot stories. In other words, they're in their home and there's this loud crash. The guy goes outside with a flashlight and a gun to see large stones, 60, 80 pounds, thrown up against his house, doing damage. And he sees an image of something running away from the home, snapping branches at like 8, 9 feet on the trees.
Wow, yeah.
And then we're picking up these stories, and I'm like, this is crazy. I had not heard of any like Bigfoot things in that area. So,
and how far away is that from you?
Not far at all.
20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah. Holy shitballs.
I know. And every time I'm traveling on the main route and when you turn off to go up those roads, I'm telling you, I got a weird feeling, man. It's just that area, something feels
it usually one of the things that people that we've heard at interviewing people that do cryptids, especially Bigfoot, and even things that I'd seen on TV. Like there was a couple things that I'd seen from a show up in Canada, and they said the same thing. It just was weird feelings in the air. Like it's just a weird energy that you pick up.
Haley told Dave we can never go back there. I mean, we're just out.
I want to. You guys are talking about it, and the first thing I thought of was getting a hold of Mike and from Tactical Bigfoot Research, and let's go. I mean, I'm good to go.
Is Sasquatch guy still on here?
Michael Red would go with me too. Red Utley's here as well. I could get a hold of Red, and he'd go.
Well,
but is the Sasquatch? What was the name of it? Sasquatch Nation or something?
Yeah.
Are they still here? They popped in earlier.
That stuff all fascinates me. I mean, I'm not close to it. I just
I am.
I can't see anymore.
Scarborough
Sasquatch.
And the ones that have always interested me was Mothman and the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, Mothman is pretty interesting to me too, to be honest.
And also where we live, not but 15 minutes away, we have a major army depot for the United States, Letterkenny.
Not even.
All the Patriot missiles that are used are retooled here at Letterkenny. It was created.
I used to work there.
Yeah.
It opened 1 year after Pearl Harbor.
Right, to store armament.
And they are responsible for shipping.
Hi, Cheryl Sanders.
For storing and shipping out a little over 25% of all the ammunition for the United States military, from small caliber up to Patriot missile systems.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now wait a minute, I gotta get Michael Red is in here, and I want to kind of go to what he has to say here. He says, "I believe the extraterrestrial activity is often confused as human spirit or demonic activity, but also vice versa. I think our souls become interdimensional entities on departure." He also says, but Sasquatch is an extraterrestrial on vacation, and he said he'd definitely go.
So he thinks that Sasquatch...
He agrees with you. Yes, he agrees with you. I'm going to have to...
This Letterkenny that
we're all rednecks.
Tonight, you go outside, and in the sky, I don't know what the hell it is. It ain't it's not an airplane. It isn't a helicopter. But it's flying around in the night doing weird stuff, and it's always over Letterkenny. Now, I don't know if that's something the government's got, some cloaking devices, whatever the hell, but it's not uncommon in this area to see, like, call it UFOs or whatever.
We have some up here too in the Rochester area. We have a lot up here too,
especially by Lake Ontario. There's a lot of stuff up there.
Yep.
But I love stories like this because this is the stuff that makes you want to just get in your car and go. You just want to get in and go and wander around and check on this stuff. I mean,
Sasquatch. My name is Daryl.
It has been. His name is Daryl. It's been.
Oh my gosh! They killed Letterkenny.
I miss investigating.
That's a show, actually. Letterkenny. That's the name of a show on.
Yeah.
Is it?
On Netflix, it's called Letterkenny, and it is a show about the town Letterkenny.
Well, every so often they're blowing this stuff up.
Old stuff that can't be used anymore, so they have to.
You'll be in my house shakes.
Destroy it, and the whole house.
Shit, are you kidding me? How far away is this place?
25 minutes, he said.
When I worked there, I could get from our driveway to the parking area where I had to park in 7 minutes.
Oh.
Holy shit, no wonder why you're feeling that. That's like when the explosion happened in
How many acres they got?
Ontario.
No.
Hundreds. I lived 15, 20 minutes away, and we felt the explosion because there was a gas explosion in town of Ontario and Ontario Center, and we felt it 15, 20 minutes away in one of the next towns over.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, Haldeman's right there.
We're only an hour or so from 3 Mile Island.
Oh, Jesus.
Which makes Haley even closer because she's
Haley's
right
on
their
there.
side.
She's low.
She was low, you know. So,
Screw you, Kyle. Screw you, Kyle.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you can drive over Letterkenny. You can see, I mean, it's a huge, expansive amount of acreage. And you'll see in the fields thousands of half-tracks, transports, all this stuff coming back from the Iraq wars, all parked out in a freaking open field.
Broke down, flat tires, everything else.
Yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
It is. And then you think the money that represents.
Yeah.
Holy crap. It's
but then you also have to think about all the energies that are tied within that vehicle.
I have no doubt.
If there was any death associated with that vehicle, oh gosh. Or the fear.
Yeah.
Or fear.
Sure.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
But we really sort of the way the mountain range runs from us, and we're about 2 hours up to Pittsburgh, but along that whole quarter, they claim it's strong Sasquatch, UFO. I mean, all that stuff's tied in.
I mean, you have to think about it this way. I mean, Pennsylvania and New York have a lot of similarities, especially we have very hilly places. We have a lot of woods. We have mountain areas, and this is great UFO and Sasquatch territory. I mean, all of that stuff because of the lushness of the region and the hidden capacities and capabilities, right? Of the potentiality for being hidden is immense. So absolutely, I can understand why we would definitely have all that kind of activity.
And then, you know, Kecksburg's right there in between all this. Remember the whole Kecksburg incident, and then the Men in Black was showing up at the homes and took all the news footage and everything from that. So they're sort of rich in all that.
So how long ago was that they were
Kecksburg, I think, was early 60s.
Yeah.
They believe a UFO crashed in the heavily wooded areas. Stuff's glowing, and immediately they had government agents come up there. Some of the local news groups were there filming, and they were getting, even to this day, you can go up there and get radiation levels.
Wow.
What?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's been a number of books and speculation, but very quickly, the government guys showed up and like the Men in Black knocking on doors, talking to people, and that's all in this area. So it's, if anything, it's food for thought.
I want to go over to Michael Red again. He says, I've seen green balls of light that released an orange ball of light that left at a high rate of speed, faster than anything humans have. There are lots of sightings here because of Oak Ridge Nuclear Facility. So he's in Pigeon Falls,
we have a nuclear
Tennessee.
Plant right here where I live too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Gannett Power Plant.
Yeah, next town over, and it's right on Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got to cut out. I got to go pick up my daughter.
Yeah,
So,
we've got to too.
understand.
We're at our 2-hour mark, so we're good here. I've been trying to keep an eye on that. So
Great talking with you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks so
Yes,
much.
you guys, we've had so much fun. I've had
it's
so much fun. I can't speak for Teddy, but
well, no, I couldn't get a word in edgewise, Cindy. But anyways,
listen, I didn't hardly either.
check out
like their good talkers.
www.facebook.com Keystone State PS. Check them out. And you can go there, and they've got, I believe there's a link on there as well for their website or something along those lines. You can check those guys out. Met Dave a few times. Dave's a cool cat. Jim, he's a cool cat. We're all good. We do need to get together though, Dave, and investigate. I think that would be fun for us to do.
I want to go to Hinsdale.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. All right, so
nice spending the evening with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks
Well, we'll
so
have to do
much,
it
you
again.
guys.
We'll have to do it again.
All right, you guys have a great one.
Take care.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
All right, so it's been a wonderful evening here on Paratalk
yeah.
Radio. So, Cindy, I'm gonna play.
Teddy.
I'm gonna play. Now that I finally got Tony's thing up, I'm gonna play Tony's commercial real quick.
Please do. Awesome.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
That's nice. That's
Thanks.
a great one.
So an interesting conversation tonight. I mean, I love talking with other teams and their experiences and what they go through. To kind of sum things up, they're kind of like a typical team.
Yeah.
You know, of what goes on out there. I mean, they live in a place that has a lot of activity, which is very cool for them.
There's Scarborough
I think
Sasquatch
that's awesome.
Station.
So.
It's an interesting show tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So, Barry Mark says, I've been to Connecticut Hill Wildlife Management Area for hiking this summer and may have Bigfoot sightings in the past. Oh, they may have, I'm guessing, so that's cool.
They may have, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome. But that's cool. But yeah, well, thanks, Barry.
Yeah.
Tom, I don't have yours loaded. You have it. I sent you the two that I worked on. I have a commercial for Tom that I'm working on. I sent him one while I was doing all these other commercials.
You're awfully nice. Teddy made one for me too for my Just Cindy podcast, which is on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure you watch me there. And tomorrow night is, as Teddy likes to call it, Taco Tuesday, but it's actually Tarot Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 9. Well, I try to do it 8, but it usually gets away from me.
Well, you know how that works.
I do. I like to help people, and I can't help myself. I just love giving messages.
Yeah, well, people love it. It's a good thing. Yeah. I mean, I get to pop in once in a while, not as often as I'd like, but it's a lot of fun.
When you can come on.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember who next week is. Let me see. Let me go to my calendar real quick. I can't believe we're into September.
I know, it's crazy, right? Teddy Tuesday. No, it's Teddy Tuesday.
Yeah, so actually, next Monday, the 7th, is Labor Day, so we normally take that off. So we're not going to be here next. Yes, we are not going to be here next Monday. Okay. But you guys will see me on Tuesday with Talk with Teddy, and you'll see Cindy on Thursday.
And Tarot Tuesday.
Tarot Taco Tuesday. That's it. Tarot Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tarot Tuesday. And that's at 7 p.m. that weekend. That next week too. It's always the same time.
Yeah.
7 p.m. Well,
we gotta get
Eastern Standard Time.
I would like to get some more teams. It's fun talking to these other teams.
I'd
like to get some more teams to find out, because this whole Paraunity thing, this is kind of a new, like we've always talked to people that have their own TV shows or authors and stuff like that, and it's really nice to talk to other teams that are out there doing what we do.
Tarot Taco Torqued Tuesday.
There you go. I wanted to actually get that Bigfoot team on here. on our show. That Scarborough Sasquatch Station. I'd love to get them on.
Hey, you guys listening?
Yeah, let's connect and we can get you guys on the 14th. I think it is the 14th. That would be
awesome.
That would be fun. Yeah, that would be great.
Tom Nally said, "I will be here next Monday." Well, of course you'll be there because that's where you live, Tom.
Hey, Cindy.
Yeah. Isn't that so cute? I love it. It's so fun. I was sitting here dancing.
Yeah, I'll leave it in there for you so we can have it the next time.
That's
awesome. I had it loaded up. I wasn't sure. I was like, when we get to it, we'll just do it for fun. But, you guys know, we love you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't even be here. I mean, I can't believe this year has gone so fast. So...
Oh, yeah, Barry. Did you see what Barry said? I've learned that the Connecticut Hill area is the largest wildlife management area in New York.
Oh,
the environment there is perfect for Bigfoot. Very dense areas with some limited visibility. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Chanel says, "I'm so busy tomorrow. Hope I'm not able, or hope I can be able to.
I hope I can be able to see your show tomorrow, Cindy." Thanks so much, Chanel.
That's awesome.
Anywhere you go, there you are.
There you are. I'll be here on Tuesday. That falls as your Monday.
I'll be here.
That's absolutely
on Tuesday.
True.
That falls you have to remember
because he's so far ahead of us.
Yeah, because it is. It's like 10, 11, 12, 10 there in Australia tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. Yeepers.
I love it.
He always can catch us. It's 10:10 p.m. here, robot.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, you know what it is. It's time for us to say goodbye. So, and no, we're not going to sing. We're not going to sing. We're not going to sing that. What was that? What was that old song? Oh shit! I'm trying to think of that old song.
Robert is like Doc Brown.
It's gone.
He lives in the future. Oh yeah, he sure does.
He does live in the future for us. So we do have time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm just gonna end it. I can't think of the name of that song. What I was thinking, but that's all right. So, guys, I
know what you were thinking, though.
Oh, happy trails to you until we meet again.
I love it. Yes.
Oh my God.
See, I know that one too. Teddy still tries to stump me.
Yep. All right, guys. Remember, wherever there is darkness, there is always
the light.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.
WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows.